Here are some of the tools that you'll be using to draw your project today. Here's the drafting board and the T-square, a triangle, and an architecture scale. Notice the piece of tape that I put on my architecture scale so that I can easily find the right scale that I'm using today. The scale that we'll be using for the site plan is 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot. And that's, so you look for the 1/8 inch over here, and then you count out from left to right. These numbers represent how many feet at 1/8 inch scale. Then the scale that we'll be using for the floor plan and the elevations will be twice as big as 1/8 inch, and that's 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. And that scale reads from this side, from right to left. You're going to be using a T-square, and you want to be sure and hold it tight against your drafting board. And then when you get it in position to draw your lines, then sometimes it helps to put pressure on the T-square so that it doesn't move up and down, and you can get your lines nice and straight. Now, to draw the vertical lines, I'm going to use a triangle and put that on the T-square just like this. And again, I'm going to put pressure on the T-square at the same time that I hold the triangle and then draw a vertical line. So on our site plan, what we're going to do is draw a footprint of the building. And by that I mean the outside of the walls of the building. So we're showing the perimeter of the building that you have already designed, and I have that underneath that design underneath this piece of tracing paper so that I can use that to help me find the lines to draw my plot plan or my site plan. And if I need my scale, and I put the 0 on the corner, and then I'm going to count in, and it looks like it's 19 feet, about 19 feet 6 inches. When you start to draw this, you might want to draw your lines lightly at first so that you don't have a lot of erasing to do if you happen to put the line in the wrong spot. Notice how when I move my T-square, I'm holding on to it so that it doesn't bend down as I'm drawing. It doesn't go out of square. Don't worry about whether your lines meet at the corners or not. It's actually better if they go past the corners. It looks more architectural. A plot plan generally has the direction of north facing up the sheet. So that's what we have here, is north is going up the sheet. And we have the property lines, which are already printed on your sheet that you've been given for the competition. And your site may be relatively flat, so you might not need many stairs. But if you do, stairs are very simple to draw, just like I'm drawing them with single lines. That's what these are. When you draw a patio, you can put in some dots for concrete. When you're confident about where your building is, and then eventually you're going to go back and really darken these lines on what we call the footprint of the building. If you have a circle template, you can draw your trees with that. A representation of the trunk of the tree. You can put in some branch-like forms, and you can show a different type of tree where you basically go around and just do a zigzag kind of a thing. Figure out which way the sun is going, which is going to be from the bottom of the sheet. That's the south side. So you want to put your shading up on on the north side. You notice I sometimes do things freehand, and you can do that too. That makes things seem much more like a design that's handcrafted. Put an arrow and notes on your drawing that will say which way the stair goes, up or down. So I'm going to show you how I write notes, and I just do a guideline like that. I don't even measure them. I just do an approximation of what size letters I want, and then I can use my triangle and to get my vertical lines straight, and then I can write down. So you want to show as much landscape as you have time to show, and give it some thought as to where you think trees would shade the house from the summer sun. And we want to talk just for a minute about green building. Throughout this project, and your project, hopefully you're thinking a little bit about energy efficiency. Notice that we've laid the building out so that most of the building, or as much as possible, faces toward the south, towards the main sun axis, and that way we can take advantage of the sun to help heat the building a good part of the year. You could show where the solar panels would be located on the roof if you're going to have solar panels. You can also have a drought-tolerant, low water use landscape. You can have your roof collect water in a cistern. It's as easy as that.